Welcome back. President Trump now calling out Joe Biden for not hitting the campaign trail this weekend. Well, he was. Watch this.
He's in his basement right now, and he's saying, "What do I do?" He calls his handlers. "What do I do about this?" He hasn't left in 2.5 days. In the meantime, I'm all over the place.
All right, all jokes aside there, even the mainstream media is calling out the former VP for his lack of events. A CBS digital reporter at the White House tweeting, "Not sure why Biden isn't doing more to show he can outwork Trump." Here to discuss is Nan Hayworth with the Independent Women's Forum and former New York Congresswoman, and Tom Borelli, also joining us, a Newsmax insider and contributor at America's Voice News. Okay, good morning to both of you here. Nan, we'll start with you. Clearly, it's not rocket science here to notice that Biden's lack of campaign appearances. So why aren't more in the media speaking out and questioning where he's at?
Well, Emma, it's painfully obvious that most of the folks in the mainstream media are doing everything they can, whether they're broadcast journalists with the big legacy networks, certain cable news outlets that we know well, or big newspapers like the New York Times, the Washington Post. They're all trying to protect this candidate. It's painfully obvious that Joe Biden does not have the stamina, Emma. He does not have the mental vigor and acuity that he did just a couple of years ago. And that's not making a diagnosis. It clearly is a fact. He is a gaffe machine. He always has been, but now it's much worse. So when they ask these questions, when a friendly reporter presumably asks these questions, it's their way of trying to push the campaign to say, you know what? Yeah, you're sitting on a lead here, and Donald Trump has endless energy. Joe Biden better show what he's got. And, you know, Emma, there's no energy there.
Well, he's got 50 days to prove you wrong, Nan, and he could if he actually got out and back on the campaign trail. Compare that to President Trump. He's out and about. He hosted multiple rallies just over the weekend here. As we know, the debate is really coming up. That's in 2 weeks. Tom, do you think that Joe Biden should be using this time to actually get some practice in for when he will be forced to answer some questions?
Emma, that's a great point. I mean, former Vice President Joe Biden has really been sitting in his basement. I think we can forget about the hashtag "Where's Hunter?" The real question is, where's Joe Biden? You can't win an election, especially a presidential election, from the sidelines. He needs to be out there in front. And to Dr. Hayworth's point, look, this just adds fuel to the fire that the man doesn't have the mental capacity to be president of the United States. Because if he did, he would clearly be out there. And this is a big problem for him because he's now actually missing some big votes. Recent polls are showing that the Latino vote is really moving to President Trump. So Biden has a big problem. We've also seen the fact that he's been apparently using a teleprompter just to ask questions. So I think it spells big problems for the Biden campaign. I think President Trump being out there, being energetic, being out there on all those rallies and all those people out there really supporting the president, I think the Biden campaign is really in trouble. You can't sit on a lead. And I think we're going to see the polls moving further and further to President Trump.
Well, even some in his own party appear to be just a little bit concerned because Bernie Sanders had some election advice for Joe Biden over the weekend, warning that a Biden-Harris victory is not guaranteed. Watch.
I think we have got to do more as a campaign than just go after Trump. People want to hear is what Joe is going to do to raise the minimum wage, to expand health care to as many people as possible, lower the cost of prescription drugs. I think those are some of the issues that people want to hear a little bit more from the Biden campaign about.
Am I here to tell you, absolutely, this is a slam dunk, no chance that he will lose? That is not what I'm saying.
Not a slam dunk there. Nan, what do you think about when Bernie Sanders comes out and voices his own concerns?
Well, Emma, we know that Joe Biden was chosen by the Democrats because they felt he was the most electable candidate. And perhaps in their universe of candidates that they had, you know, that does seem plausible. But he is merely a vehicle, and their vehicle is breaking down. And they are counting on Joe Biden to present that friendly, happy face, be a Trojan horse, essentially, for a whole raft of far left policies. When you have members of the squad, when you have Bernie Sanders working with all their might to promote Joe Biden and to assure their constituencies that he is going to be the man to deliver their policies, the American public has a problem in terms of the policies that Joe Biden claims maybe he's more moderate about, but he won't be, because it's clear that Joe Biden is not does not have the strength and stamina even to be an advocate for his own inclinations. They've got a real problem on their hands, Emma, and I'm not sure how they get out of it.
Yeah, Tom, I mean, this idea here that anyone but Trump could carry them to victory, you wonder if that's really going to do it here. Bernie Sanders seems to think that might not be enough.
Well, I don't agree with Senator Sanders on many things, but I think he's right on that one. You just can't criticize President Trump and expect to be president. It didn't work for Hillary Clinton in 2016. It's not going to work for Joe Biden here in 2020. That's for sure. But I think what we're really seeing here is that it's really that Bernie Sanders is really the de facto one running for president. And that puts Biden in a really tough position. Because if he goes out there and really touts Sanders' crazy ideas like the Green New Deal that wants to really end fossil fuels, coal, oil, natural gas, that's not going to help Biden win votes in Pennsylvania, which is a big fracking state. Biden has already flip-flopped on fracking. And if he doesn't campaign for the Sanders agenda, then the progressives are going to sit home. So Biden is really in a no-win situation. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, you say he's flip-flopping on fracking. There are multiple issues where he's kind of gone back and forth on. It'd be great to have a chance to ask him a question to clarify those stances. Really important as we get closer and closer to the election. Nan Hayworth, Tom Borelli, thanks for joining us today and sharing your thoughts. We appreciate it so much.